Feel the power of your determination taking control of your breathing. Feel the power of your presence, your gift, right now in this moment. Now think about you doing your best today on all the exercises we do together in the gym of life. See, we are so powerful, we get to think, create, imagine in our minds, and make real in the world. And that goes with everything. The way we do our exercises to the best of our ability is the same way we can do anything to the best of our ability.
Are you ready to work out? Are you ready to work out?
Let it drop now, 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 let it drop now.
Solo te quiero lejos de mí. Sé que no sabes de mí y no te puedo mentir. Lo que dicen en la calle sobre mí y no te voy a negar. Pero encuéntrate, otra vez y no te voy a negar.
Nicely done.
Morning, guys. One of the analogies that I love to use is the analogy of water when it comes to our thoughts, and the ocean being this never ending abundance of water. If we can imagine that our thoughts are like water droplets, if we can work on every single day transforming those water droplets into positive thoughts, water droplets, and then adding them and continuing to build that up every single day, we can, in effect, make our minds like an ever-flowing ocean of abundance, of positive thought energy. And if we continue to do that, we continue to work at it every day, it might seem like it's such a huge, impossible task, but little by little, if we make our minds like an overabundant flow of an ocean, we'll see the physical manifestations in our life. Have a great day, everyone.
Five ways that you can build confidence. The first thing, affirming activities. I love Jay Shetty because he said this quote. He said, every year he's always learning, loving, and launching something. You always need to be learning, loving, and launching. When you are learning something, it's a humbling place to be. You're not going to be good at it. You're going to be a beginner, and it's not going to be confidence boosting. But when you are loving and launching something, you're in alignment, you're walking in purpose. So at every point in your life, you should be learning, loving, and launching. So what are those affirming activities that you're doing to remind you of how far you've come? Okay. So the first one, affirming activities. The second thing, affirming friends. Affirming friends. Guys, insecurity and confidence don't speak the same language. Get new friends. I had friends that used to project their insecurities on me. They would like shame me for having habits, but every day you should have an alarm, or you should set an alarm that has 3 words that remind you of yourself. Or for me, I also like to do things that are like affirmations. So I'm like, I like to tell myself daily, like, this is all a part of God's plan. This is God, you're building God's kingdom. That's something I tell myself daily. So when I see that, little notification come on my phone, it gets me re-excited. And a friend tried to shame me for having that like habit. And I was like, man, what is it like to be so insecure with yourself that you shame someone for like wanting to like walk in alignment? I was like, I don't need you in my life. Yeah, have affirming friends, people who are also building legacies, people who also understand that life is temporary and what you build is the only thing that lasts forever. Like, how many of you guys have picked up a book that's 200 years old? How insane is that? 200 years ago, someone wrote a book not knowing that 200 years later, Glow would come walking through and finds it in a used bookstore. How cool is that? You do not know how far your story is going to reach, okay? So number 1, affirming activities. Number 2, affirming friends. Number 3, affirming documentation. I record time lapses. I watch the sunrise every single day. There are so many things that I do every single day that remind me of like, I'm building something. And I like to look back on those time lapses like, oh, I remember when I was launching that. Affirming documentation. When you're recording yourself on video because you want to share it on Instagram, or maybe you don't share it, but just having it so that you can look back on it to remind yourself of like, oh, I remember that season of my life when I was getting ready to launch my podcast and I recorded a video of it. Anytime I'm feeling really vulnerable or in a season of like change or transition, I like to have these like video diaries where I'm like, all right, the day is, March 7th, quarantine day 385. And here's how I feel. And here's what I'm doing. But I love to document those small everyday moments because you're going to look back and be like, wow, I was so confused in that season, but I showed up anyway. There's a lot of people who you can scroll through my Instagram and you won't know the times where I was battling depression and I was just so confused and so unsure. I talk about it later on, but in those moments, I show up anyway because I'm like, someone needs me. I'm like, Glow, I don't feel it today, but someone else needs it. And like, again, I daily, I recognize my privileges. Daily, I recognize my blessings. And I'm like, there's someone else who's probably going to be in bed when they're watching my video and I'm talking to them about purpose. They're going to need this. So I'm going to record the video. And then I don't care that I don't sound, like a woman. I need to really stop joking about that. Maybe my next therapist appointment, I need to unpack that. Okay, number 4, affirming consumption. Now, this is on the extreme side, but I created a second Instagram account to follow friends because on my main page, I only want to see personal development, business strategy, entrepreneurship, positivity. And I notice like I love my friends, but if they're posting junk, I'm missing the stuff that I actually need to see. So I had to create, if you notice, Brendan only follows like 100 people. He knows what he's doing. He's got to keep the noise out. Social media is a very loud place. And if the stuff that you actually want to see is drowned underneath everyone else's like pictures of food, I don't know, baby announcements, congratulations. I'm happy for you, but I'll congratulate you from my other page, because if I have 15 minutes to scroll on Instagram every day, I need to get the best of the best. I want to make sure I'm getting affirming consumption. And the last thing, affirming rest. How can you be confident when you're always in a hurry, always overwhelmed, always triggered, always stressed? Okay. 7 hours is like my minimum. 8 is my standard, but I need 7. And there's different like sleep devices. You can have like a Galaxy Watch or an Apple Watch that can track your sleep hours and your REM cycle, your deep sleep, your light sleep. And again, to any new mothers, you guys are in a different ballpark, and I'm sorry, and I hope your baby starts sleeping soon. I know like new parenthood is a different story, but when you can get to that place of like, maybe it's sacrificing an hour of Netflix to go to bed an hour earlier. I set my phone every day, and it's automatic now because I trained my phone to do this. And 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., I am unreachable. No one can access me from 8, like literally my phone goes on do not disturb, meaning that calls get blocked. If someone tries to call me after 8 p.m. or before 8 a.m., it won't even go through. It'll just say this user is not accepting calls right now. They got a text or send an email. Actually, text messages can't even get through until I've turned off do not disturb. And what's great about that is it allows me 12 uninterrupted hours to focus on me, to like start winding down for the day, to start preparing for the day, like having my morning routine and like saying affirmations to myself, journaling, working through like, okay, what is my plan for the day? High performance planner, wink, wink, giving myself time to like fill out all those prompts and schedule my day accordingly. Literally, the world could be on fire. I won't know until 8 a.m. Sorry, I won't know until I turn my phone on and I tune in. And that's a boundary I set for myself to help me affirm my rest. So again, affirming activities, affirming friends, affirming documentation, affirming consumption, and affirming rest.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.
Kane, Adebayor, grounded out, might still break for Lamella. Oh, what about that? That's extraordinary! Eric Lamella with an absolute beauty.
Guys, today Gary Vaynerchuk shares his first rule for success, and that is bet on your strengths. This is another one that we often forget on a daily basis. We have to remind ourselves of what we're good at or the things that we really love to do. What are your strengths? We all have strengths. We've just allowed the things that we're not good at to overtake us, and we forget on the fact that we all have something we're really good at. So Gary Vaynerchuk reminds us to bet on our strengths and to just focus on that and forget about what you're not good at. Learn from everything. You're going to get better, but you got to cultivate that thing that you love doing, that thing that brings you that joy, and that thing that you're really good at. So bet on your strengths, and then he says go all in on that. Really share that with the world. Be that and just live that. So hopefully we can remember that. Have a great day, everyone.
You know that wave that you feel, or your tongue gets numb, or you get tightness in your cheeks, or you freeze? You know when that happens? Based on the science, there is only a 90-second chemical release in your body. It's called the 90-second rule. Your stomach starts to flutter, when your heart starts to race. Based on the science, there's a 90-second rule, and all of the chemical release that's happening, because your body is going into a state of being alert, it only sticks around for 90 seconds, as long as you don't let your thoughts race. If your thoughts start to race, you'll start to agitate the situation. So the next time that your body goes into a state of alert, when the body starts to do that, it means your body is getting ready to be alert and pay attention. It does not mean you're in danger. It does not mean to stop or to shut up. I want you to take a deep breath. Count to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And realize that the hormones that just got released because you're about to do something, they only last 90 seconds. That's it. You can breathe slowly. You can count to 90. You can get up and walk around. You can do 90 seconds of jumping jacks. You can meditate for 90 seconds. You can ground your feet in your chair and wiggle a minute so that you feel your body in your chair. And take deep breaths. And what you're going to find is that you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away because what you're going to see is that in 90 seconds flat, you can go from being somebody who has an upset stomach and who would normally not go talk to your boss, who would normally not walk into that gym, who would normally not make that call. In 90 seconds flat, you can manipulate your body state to calm down, and you will notice that your thoughts do not race. Your thoughts calm down, you're in full control, and now you can speak up, and now you can show up.
So I'm here in Puerto Rico. I was invited to speak at Brendan Burchard's mastermind event. These people pay $30,000 to $50,000 a year to be a part of his group. And I was asked to speak. I was one of 2 external speakers to be here over the past 3 days. And before going on stage, I had a little mini panic attack. My biggest fear is I'm going to disappoint people. My biggest fear is I'm going to let them down. My biggest fear is that Brendan, brought me over here, put me up in this amazing hotel, and I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. I'm going to let people down. I'm going to disappoint them, and it's going to look bad for everybody. And they paid all this money to be here. And just before going on stage in the introduction, Brendan's talking about how I've helped him and how I helped him with his YouTube channel, and just backstage, I dropped all these genius knowledge bombs on him, and in my heart, I'm like freaking out even more. It's like, man, as if I wasn't already stressed out enough. You gotta bump me up and fill me up even more, which in my head is more expectations, what people think I'm gonna do, people who may not even know me. Now they're gonna be, putting all these expectations on me, right? Now I have to deliver even more, right, after the big setup. I'd rather under-promise and over-deliver, not have a giant promise and then try to match it. So here's the thing that saves me, and maybe it'll work with you. I default to service. When I'm stressed out, when I'm anxious, this happens mostly when we're afraid of other people's opinions, right? When we're about to make a YouTube video, when we're about to speak on stage, we're about to do something like talking to a customer, something scary. It's usually because of other people's opinions. And what I do is default to service, when I can catch it, right? If you catch yourself feeling the panic attack, default to service. So I'll look out into the crowd and I'll remind myself, I'm not here for me, I'm here for them. I'm here for you. I'm making this video for you. Hopefully, this channel is a part of your regular routine, your morning routine, and it's giving you inspiration and ideas and belief and hope in the morning. That's why I make these videos. It's not because I love standing out here on the balcony with my arm about to fall off because I'm tired of holding this phone up, right? I'm introverted. I have no desire to see myself on camera. Every time before filming, I have these moments of anxiety, feeling like I want the new video I make to be better than before. And so I get nervous and scared every time I get, even still now, in front of the camera to make videos like this, but definitely to do crazy speeches in front of people paying $30 to $50K to be there, right? It's about service. You're built to serve. You want to help other people. You have a message that matters. And so my technique that always calms me down and always makes me feel great is I think this is about you. This is about them. This isn't about me. I did the same thing 2 weeks ago when I was in Whistler. Ed Milet and Andy Frisella flew me out to speak to their group. And these guys pay $60K a year to be there. There's 100 people in the room, super limited, super elite. And David Goggins spoke first, and then I spoke after him, and then Peyton Manning spoke after me. And I'm thinking, man, I gotta speak between David Goggins and Peyton Manning? Are you kidding me? And so the hamster wheel starts running, right? Who am I to be here? Oh my gosh, these guys are so crazy and like elite of the elite, and I'm gonna disappoint people. I'm gonna let people down, right? That's the thought process, and I get anxiety then. But then I remind myself this is about service, that the people here I care about, and that they're thought leaders and experts, and they need to get their message out. And I know more about YouTube than David Goggins and Peyton Manning, so let's go, right? That's the voice inside my head. That's how I get myself into action mode. So it's not about being fearless. I think if you have those moments where you feel anxious, where you feel nervous, where you feel scared, it's actually good. If you don't have anything that makes you feel nervous, anxious, scared, you have a boring life. You don't like your life. You're bored because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. You want things that are different. You want things that are outside your comfort zone. You want things that stretch you, and that comes with anxiety and insecurities and fears and doubts. That's all normal. But what you don't want to teach yourself is that when you get afraid, you play small. When you get anxious, you back down, right? That's not the message. It's true. You do it. You rise up when you do it. And the way to do it, at least for me, is one, telling myself I'm Evan Carmichael and I do scary things, right? Scary, difficult, or hard. I do those things. But then two, default to service. That this is not about you. Don't be so selfish. You have a message that can change the world. You have a responsibility to get it out there, to help people. And you staying quiet and you staying small doesn't serve anybody. You're built to serve. Now go live it.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Hey, hey, here come the trouble. Hey, hey, here come the trouble.
Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. La morena tiene algo que me llena de sabor. Suave. Y esa blanquita tiene algo que me arranca el descontrol. De azúcar, dame dos de azúcar, dame tres de azúcar. Blanqui morena, dame una de azúcar, dame dos de azúcar, dame tres de azúcar. Blanqui morena, dame una de azúcar, dame dos de azúcar, dame tres de azúcar. Blanqui morena, dame una de azúcar, dame dos de azúcar, dame tres de azúcar. Blanqui morena, blanqui morena. Azuquita, azuquita, para la niña bonita. Azuquita, azuquita, para la niña bonita. Loaded.
So good effort! Absolutely stunning.
Morning, guys. As we go on this path to living, loving, and laughing our way to infinite mind wealth, I want us to remember one important thing. What we're trying to do here is what most people won't. 98% of people won't. And that's the challenge. We want to try to do it for ourselves and affect others and help them, inspire them to find their true great self. But it's a hard path, and I want us to remember and sort of laugh at the process, because what you're trying to do is like Gary Vaynerchuk says. He says, if you want to be an anomaly, in other words, be your true great self, you have to act like an anomaly. And that it's going to involve you standing out. It's going to involve you perhaps looking weird to other people. But remember, it's not in any sort of negative sense. It's just we're not used to it. All of us are not used to this path. So let's work together. Let's laugh, live, love our way there, and be empathetic towards each other, but never stop on it. It's the greatest path. Have a great day, everyone.
I assert that if you're not in the present moment, you're running a program, right? And paying attention is being present. And it's a skill just like anything else. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. And you know when someone's present with you in your life because they're paying attention to you. And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you. So where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So if you have all of your attention in the present moment, you're conserving a lot of energy to create with. If I'm talking to you and you're thinking about where you're going to go for lunch and who you're going to go with and how you're going to get there, and I'm talking to you, you left the present moment and your attention went to some future. And your energy will go down and you won't be able to comprehend what I said. If you start thinking about what you should have said at the staff meeting 3 days ago, and I'm talking to you and your mind is back in the past, you're siphoning energy out of the present moment into the past. So people are constantly siphoning their energy into a familiar past or a predictable future because that's where their attention is. And the stronger the emotions that we feel to certain problems and conditions in our life, the more we pay attention to them. So we give our power away to our ex, we give our power away to that big problem, and that's creative energy that we should be able to use to create a new future.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because in my first business, I quit on my business partner. I was making $300 a month, and I didn't have the motivation to keep going. And the thing that got me through was studying the stories of entrepreneurs who've had massive success. And I hope that in sharing these stories with you, you find a motivation to keep going. And if I'm being honest, I still need the stories for myself today too. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Joe Dispenza, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
When a person's sitting in a meditation and they're doing absolutely nothing, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and their body for the last 10 years has been going in traffic and getting angry and frustrated in traffic, and now they're sitting in a meditation at 8 o'clock in the morning, the body's gonna say, hey, you're off schedule. I'm used to suffering and getting angry here. Yeah. So the body's gonna start looking for that emotion, and it's gonna start influencing the mind, and you're gonna start getting images and memories, just so you could feel that emotion. Like now the person's back in the past. But if they become aware that they're siphoning energy out of the present moment into the past, and they settle the body back down into the present moment, that's a victory. Yeah. And those victories add up. And you're telling the body in that moment that it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind, and that's a victory. And then people get frustrated and they say, I can't meditate. Oh, really? Well, actually, you're doing it right. That's actually what meditation, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And then all of a sudden the body says, well, it's 8:15 now. This is when you normally, go get something to eat and you have your coffee and your body's starting to want to get up and do something. You become aware that your body wants to get up and move and you're in the meditation, and you tell your body, you bring it back to the present moment and you settle it back down. You are training the animal. That's a victory. Now you're executing a will that's greater than the program, because most people lose their free will to a program. Now you're telling the body, I'll tell you when we get up, not when you want to get up. You're not the mind, I'm the mind. And that's a victory. Now, we've done the research on this. If you keep doing this and you stay with it, sooner or later, the body's going to surrender to a new mind. And when that happens, Sean, there's a liberation of energy. The body is freed from those habituations and those emotions. The body's going from particle to wave, from matter to energy. And all of a sudden, you're dialing down the anger. You're dialing down the vigilance. And the body now is being conditioned to a new mind. That is the present moment. And when you're in that present moment, something really amazing happens. You forget about you. All of a sudden, you're not your face, you're not your culture, you're not your marital status, you're not your diet, you're not your past. You're basically just an awareness. You're in the unknown. And that is the perfect place to create from. So it turns out that when people do this properly, they heal themselves of anxiety. Why? Because they're no longer obsessing about some future. When they find the present moment, they heal from their depression because they're not a bit hopeless and powerless in their past. The body's conditioned now. And so then, when they overcome themselves in their meditation, and they step out into their life, they are more present. They can connect. They are more patient. They are more loving because they overcome the animal part of themselves. And the beauty behind that is that all of a sudden, you're not predictable. All of a sudden, something's different about Sean. He's not, I'm noticing he's not behaving the same way. You're out of the known, right? You're in the unknown. And all of a sudden, it's no longer what you're saying to them. It's who you are. They're just kind of scratching their head going, hey, he looks like he's really happy. I want some of that. And now we're out of the philosophical, theoretical realm. We're in the practicum, which is where really the magic happens. So the eternal present moment, the sweet spot of the generous present moment, is the place we create from. And when we're there, we disconnect from our bodies. We become nobody. We disconnect from people in our lives. We're not thinking about our ex or our boss. We are no one. We're not thinking about our cell phone or our computer. We are no thing. We are not thinking about where we live, where we work, where we sleep. We are nowhere. And we're not thinking about the predictable future and the familiar past. We're in no time. And when you're disconnecting or dissociating from everything known, you're in the unknown. And that's where the magic happens.
Rule number 2, believe in yourself.
I consider myself a pretty open-minded person. I mean, I have a pretty good bullshit meter too. Like I have a truth meter that I'm a practical person.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about quantum superimposition if it doesn't change my life in any way. I want to know how it's going to affect my life. I'm a pragmatist. Mm-hmm. So I consider myself a pretty open-minded person, but I'm skeptical about things because I want to challenge them in a way that I think it really helps people, right? So when I saw, some of the dramatic changes take place, I never thought in my lifetime that I would be witnessing what I witness in every single week-long event that we've done, and we've done 30 of them now, and it's never been a disappointment. There's just a transformative thing that takes place that is way bigger than me. So when you see a person with a stroke who's blind in a quarter of their vision or has paralysis and can't move an arm, and you see that vision completely restored, and then you see the scan that shows there's no longer any blemish or damage to the visual field, you can't go back to business as usual. You can't go back to being the same person. Once you know, you can't not know. and it's so beautiful because consciousness is awareness, and awareness is noticing and paying attention. So when you see a person who has a transformation and you see the science that says in a week-long event, there'll be over 600 metabolic changes in 75% of the audience for the better in a 1-week event. When you know that, you're aware of another possibility that may not be the possibility that we think is free will to choose from knowns. This is now, you're stepping outside. And when a person shows up and believes in themselves and does the work, they're believing in possibility. You cannot believe in possibility and believe in yourself. Not believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself and believe in possibility. You got to believe in possibility. You got to believe in yourself. So for me personally, it's way bigger than me. I'm very humbled on a regular basis. Every time I get another testimonial, I say this person is speaking the truth, and it's a footprint for somebody else to step into, and I think the world needs that more than ever. So for me, my greatest passion, my greatest joy, I think there's something in us, Glenn, that's so empathetic. Now we have universities that are studying people that can be healed remotely. You don't even need to be in their presence. If you understand the science of quantum physics and you understand how to do it, you can hit a target and heal another person at a distance, and there it is, and there it's gone. Now, when you see that occur, there's some kind of empathy. I drop in on the calls of these people that show up every single day of their life to heal another person. And they do at least 3 or 4 a day. And these people, they're not doing it because they want to be a healer. They're doing it because, how they feel when they see a mother who's comes on the Zoom call and says, my daughter was, handicapped from birth. She had a traumatic birth. She's listless, unresponsive, never looked at her brothers. And all of a sudden, this kid is smiling at her brothers and trying to talk. And you watch the people on the Zoom call that are the healers. You see we're all in tears. There's this empathy that takes place where we're contributing as a species to one another, that we were part of somebody's transformation. We gave in some way. Another one of us is better. And this kind of feeling of empathy, this feeling of connection is so profound that goes against all those survival and stress emotions that create division and polarity and separation and distrust. And so that's when community starts coming together. That's when we start to cooperate, and it's got to be from the heart. So I'm super hopeful about what we're doing.
Rule number 3, aim for real change.
The great
That's how she feels. Hard as stone, she aims to kill. She hides her fears and burns it all. You can't get even. You realize. I'm saying, hey, no lie. She can get a little jealous, so no guy. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, but keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, la, la, la,
I love drama and rumors. I like talking my shit. Can't stop cutting people off. Get my scissors, little bitch. I just keep laughing at your pain. And Novocaine, need to pad a room with chains. I'm out, my brain might need a straight jacket. Cause all my thoughts are doing backflips. Look, I'm pretty, I'm petty. I pop like confetti. Cause shit could get deadly. So don't make me jelly. I've been on my worst. I let bridges burn. You hoes never learn. You scared go to church. Don't open your mouth. I'm a deal breaker. Been in car chases. I'm a lawbreaker. I'm insane. Might regret it later. But don't you love my bad behavior? You love how I hold grudges. Might throw some punches. But you're not judging. I'm your psycho. You love how I talk crazy. Then call you baby. No, you can't take me. I'm your type.
I'm saying, hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, but keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, no, la, no, la, hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, but keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, no, la, no,
I'm
la,
an angel and a demon. Happy when I act the meanest. I think like all my nights are sleepless. This feels like paradise, I'm dreaming. He said, Lola, girl, you're evil. Well, maybe you the reason. If I'm alive, it's killing season. Might choke you till you're barely breathing. Look, I'm local, La Vida, local, no controller. I'm colder than Nova Scotia, Minnesota. Ain't sober, don't get me started. Got a motive, my motive is bipolar, thought I told you. Cutthroat, yeah, I'm hard to handle. Got a short fuse, don't light my candle. Might tell a lie just to start a scandal. I'm a loose cannon with a lot of ammo. You love how I hold grudges. Might throw some punches, but you're not judging. I'm your psycho. You love how I talk crazy, then call you baby. No, you can't take me. I'm your type.
I'm saying, hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, but keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, no, la, no, la, hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, but keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, no, la, no, la, no, la, I don't blame you. I'm the same as you. Just don't let them change you or tighten up your screws.
Yeah, I'ma do it my way or the highway. Looking at you sideways in the valet. Always thought the wrong way was the right way. Like to see my side piece on a Sunday.
Nah, 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 slow down, slow down. La, 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 my playground, playground.
Yeah, I'ma do it my way or the highway. Looking at you sideways in the valet. Always thought the wrong way was the right way. Like to see my side piece on a Sunday.
I'm saying, hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can be a drama, but her soul is pure. Drowns in tears, it keeps on shining. Just keep on shining. Oh, no, la, no, la, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, so don't lie. She can
let's bring it back. Let's connect our breathing. To our body, to our mind, to our energy. To our energy of determination. That's right. We determine. We don't choose and lose, give up, believe lies, give in to fear. We don't do that. We don't give in to anxiety, stress, things that are not the truth of who we are. The way you did your best today, whatever exercises, stretches you chose to do, it's the same process you get to use here, now, wherever you go. In the gym of life, you get to grow your mind. You get to grow your mind health and your mind wealth. It's all possible if you determine, make the winning choice to be kind, to be peaceful, caring, loving, appreciative, grateful for everything you have here and now. I'm so grateful for my breath right now. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for our being, what we all truly are. I'm proud of my effort today, and I hope you are proud of yours. Because that effort, that process, that determination you use, it's available to you all the time. It's your greatest gift. So don't ever give up on using your determination to be your true, kind, positive, loving self. To control your own mind, no matter what is going on outside of it. You are infinitely intelligent, powerful beyond measure, and you get to work now more than ever. Your own mind, your own body, your own energy. Making yourself better now so that you can be better forever.